Ask the city how many shots a night they get. It's public record. If I was running a news station, I would have a running total. How many gunshots last night in Cincinnati, according to ShotSpotter?
That was Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters a couple of weeks ago during my one-on-one interview, which is part of our ongoing coverage of violence here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Chris Riva and the Fox 19 Investigates team requested that data, and the numbers are staggering.
They're unprecedented, and they continue to grow every hour at a mind-boggling rate. Through the first 200 days of this year, Cincinnati has seen at least 2,756 shootings. The numbers reveal more than 3 shots fired per incident, adding up to 9,551 shots fired. But as these numbers continue to grow each day, they don't even reflect the real number of shots that have been fired across the entire city.
It's huge. It's huge numbers. I think when you really know the analytics behind this, I mean, that's just what ShotSpotter is capturing. So it's not over the entire 77 square miles of the city of Cincinnati. It's in select neighborhoods.
ShotSpotter is the gunshot detection system that Cincinnati started implementing in 2017.
You decided toward the ShotSpotter incident, 5 rounds, 3220 Kavanaugh, shots heard, no further calls.
The technology has been phased in, beginning in Avondale, then going to all of Price Hill, and in 2020, the city added it to the West End, over the Rhine, and Pendleton. They continued adding the detection system to the area this summer. Last week, the Central Business District went live with the technology.
This is a very sophisticated audio system. They know it's a backfire. They can many times tell the caliber of a gun by the sound of it, and they can pinpoint it within like 5 yards. And police many times are there before they even get a 911 call.
What ShotSpotter has pinpointed through these numbers of nearly 3,000 incidents and 10,000 rounds fired in these specific neighborhoods, they combine for an average of 13 shootings per day with 47 rounds fired, or simply put, 1 shooting every 2 hours with an average of 2 shots fired per shooting. And CPD responds to every call.
When ShotSpotter alerts us to shots being fired, that auto-generates a call for service, so we're going to be on scene. I think that will help build what we call collective efficacy, that they see shots are fired, the police show up. That's a good thing. And what we try to do is, even 24 hours later, we'll do follow-ups. We'll knock on doors. Hey, did you see anything? Do you have a Ring doorbell camera? What's going on? So sometimes people don't want to talk to us right when something happens, and we understand that, but we follow up. So our coverage when it comes to gunfire is much, much better.
John says gun violence is the top priority of the Cincinnati Police Department. These numbers are the first thing that he checks daily.
It's alarming. When you look at nationwide trends and you look at the number of people shot per 100,000 of the population, Cincinnati is far too high on that list right now. That's the alarming thing. And you know, we can say, well, other major cities are experiencing increases in gun violence, but we're not other major cities. We're Cincinnati. We can control what we're doing in Cincinnati. When we see the number of people shot that we did in 2020, it's unacceptable. And we need to do what we can to build a strategy to reduce that gun violence. We can't do it alone.
CPD says that 85% of the time that they learn of a shooting through ShotSpotter, that no one calls 911 to report it. Lieutenant Colonel John says that ShotSpotter better defines the problem, but it's just a tool to help with the overall strategy to reduce gun violence. We took the data to the West End to see how community leaders there are working to become part of the solution. That part of the story tonight at 11.
It's a lot. When you look at nationwide trends, the number of people shot per 100,000 of the population, Cincinnati is far too high on that list right now. That's the alarming thing.
Wait till you see the numbers. You can judge for yourself. Police say the number of gun violence incidents in Cincinnati, it's alarming.
Yeah, Fox 19 Now Investigates compiled data showing just how many gunshots are fired each and every hour.
Hours, we're talking. Chris Riva has more.
When a gun is fired in certain parts of Cincinnati, CPD is alerted by a gunshot detection system called ShotSpotter. The city started using this technology in 2017 in Avondale. Then it expanded each year since to a total of 15 neighborhoods, the most recent in the Central Business District, which went online last week. Through the first 201 days of this year, the numbers of gunshots in the area is staggering. ShotSpotter caught 9,551 rounds fired through 2,756 shootings. While the numbers are staggering, there are several members of the community dedicated to stopping the trend.
Those numbers are enormous. So do we look the other way, or do we act right now?
Rob Harris grew up in the West End. He gives back to the West End, and frankly, is not surprised by the shooting numbers. In Cincinnati, where ShotSpotter is located, there has been a shooting every 2 hours through the first 201 days of this year. That's 13 incidents a day, with guns firing 47.5 shots in these communities per day. Looking closer, the West End joins OTR, Queensgate, and Mount Adams in Cincinnati in CPD District 1, which has seen more than 480 of those shootings this year.
Gun violence has always been an issue, but I'll tell you this, guns don't commit the murders, people do. So it's important that we address the issue and concerns of our people. There's 52 neighborhoods in our city, but when it's 6 neighborhoods that you can see statistically doing majority of the crime, and then those individuals look like myself, you want to analyze, where's the help?
Harris would like to see City Hall address the issue more. And CPD admits there are a lot of stakeholders that need to be at the table for a solution.
It takes all of us to affect a change, a long-term change. 2020 has been a challenge. It's been a challenge on so many fronts. Yeah, I'll keep going back to this. We can't do it alone. We absolutely have to have investment of community and.
This is part of that investment, the Little Senators youth football program.
Some of our 7-year-olds and then our 8-year-olds are right now scrimmaging.
He says this is more than tackles and touchdowns. It's the beginning of mentorship.
My job is to save these young men and women. So we have a cheer organization and inspire them that they can be whatever they want to be and put a different thought process in their mind and in their head.
I met Harris a year ago on a shooting scene in the West End when one of the coaches from this program was shot and killed.
Friends, family members, and now a coach just this last year that was part of the Little Senators organization that was very involved with our youth. So the impact still lasts to this day.
Just behind the practice field is a mural Harris wants young people to believe. I am hope. I am peace. I am enough. On the other end of the practice field is the street rescue nonprofit working to get unwanted firearms out of the West End before they fall into the wrong hands. The goals here are simple: to prevent these young people from becoming another statistic.
And those things that work for me, I have an obligation to give back to those individuals that don't have a father, that may be struggling, or maybe provide a safe place in addition to food that was out there.
Since I met Rob last summer, he has decided to run for Cincinnati City Council. But what he does in the West End, he says, is not politically motivated. It's something that he started a long time ago. He does disagree, though, with many of the voices that we heard from our Teens and Violence special, saying that programs will not fix the situation with gun violence. Families will. He points out that he's an individual that grew up in a challenged area, single-parent household, impacted by the trauma of guns, and that he's an example that good things happen when there is love, community programs, and mentorship around young people.